I'm very happy to talk today to Bob McAdam, and today we're talking about the new event that he is planning, WWMSTUG. Bob, what can you tell us about this event?
Well, hey, Anya, thanks very much for chatting with me today. It's so nice to have you in the same time zone as me for a change. It's really great and good to see you. Yeah, I'm up to some good stuff with my friend Jeff Goldstein at the Worldwide Microsoft Technology User Group, or MS-TUG as we like to call it. And I got a phone call from my friend Jeff a while back, and he's like, "I want to do an event, and I know you've got a lot of event experience from your days at Dynamic Community, so let's figure this one out and take a crack at it." So initially, he wanted me to help out with sponsors because I know a lot of ISVs, and I'm now working for an ISV in the dynamic space. And then the next thing you know, I had some time on my hands at the time, and I was putting together an event budget and trying to figure out what the agenda would look like, how many days, how many rooms, what kind of topics do we want to talk about. It was just a lot of things that just kind of came together suddenly. So I just started pounding away at that to see how we would do. And Jeff had some ideas and some topic areas that I wasn't familiar with. And next thing you know, we had a plan, and we had some help from our friends at LLTV to do all the AV logistics and all the fancy stuff that Jeff and I would never be able to figure out, quite frankly. And we're putting our heads together with some help from John Rivers as well, and trying to get the word out on this event that's going to cast a pretty wide net across Microsoft technology. So I'm excited about it. Virtual events have earned their place.
Excellent. So I noticed that it says you have 60 sessions across more than a dozen Microsoft technologies. So who are you hoping will benefit from this event? Who do you hope will attend? And really, why is it different than so many of the other events that we're all invited to?
Okay, those are great questions. The big one is it's different from other events that have been done in this space in the past, or at least in this neighboring space, if you will. All right, I've always been associated with Microsoft Dynamics and of late Power Platform events. We did a lot of those at Dynamic Communities. I've attended Dynamics Con a couple times. But this is different. We're not just going to focus on Microsoft Dynamics and the Power Platform. We're also going to add some other things that people are into. If you think about all the different applications that Microsoft has these days, right? Dynamics, Power Platform, Office, and so many other things that are integrated to Dynamics that some companies use and some others don't. There's really millions of people around the world on every continent you can imagine utilizing these tools, and a lot of them integrate together. So if your company doesn't use a Microsoft Dynamics ERP, maybe they use a competitor, but you may also be using Power BI and or Excel and or Teams, right? During the coronavirus pandemic, which has turned every economy upside down and every business upside down, large and small. Things like applications like Teams are getting tons and tons of use. So many companies are utilizing them way beyond what they ever imagined they would. So we're going to cover lots of those different topics as well, not just the standard Dynamics ERP, CRM, and Power Platform tools, because a lot of people are integrating other things in their day-to-day business. And this is an opportunity for them to improve on all those things, or maybe they're in the market for one of these new Microsoft technologies and they want to take in a couple of sessions for a pretty low cost to figure out if it works for them. So people who want to leverage Teams that aren't using it yet can get some introductory information or integration to OneNote, for example. We've got just a really wide net that we're casting here, and it's a different kind of event. We're gonna cram a lot in over 2 days, and some wonderful sponsors who also integrate to all of these applications as well. So it's going to be unique in that respect, and that's what makes it exciting. It's not just Dynamics and Power Platform like I've been working with for so long. It's a lot of other things as well.
Interesting. So what sessions are you personally thinking you'll sit in on or look very interesting to you? Anything you're going to use in your new role?
Well, let's see. With my new role at SalesPad, we certainly are supporting Dynamics GP, and soon we'll be supporting Dynamics 365 Business Central. So I'll check out some GP and BC sessions, of course, because that's in my DNA, and a lot of my good friends that have helped me with GPUG and things that we did at Dynamic Communities over the years, like our friend Amber Bell or our friend Aubrey Gilman, for example, are speaking on those topics. With BC, we've got some interesting stuff as well around some of the things that Carrie Peters is going to bring to us, and a gentleman named Robert at Sabre Unlimited that I've yet to meet, but he's got some really interesting topics in and around the manufacturing area. We have one speaker who's bringing us a topic on Microsoft Surface. He's an expert, and a lot of people are leasing those units, whether it's the traditional Surface or the Surface Book. So we'll get some tips and tricks there. I got someone in the UK who's doing a couple, three things for Excel. Right? Everybody I know says they know how to use Excel, but they only use like 10 or 15% of what it can actually do. So the opportunity to get smarter on Excel alone is going to be great. And then some folks that are doing Microsoft Teams, one here in North America, one in the UK. There's a lot of different people that are either leveraging Teams every single day. What are they up to? Like 120 or 130 daily users of Teams now during the pandemic? Or maybe they're tired of GoToMeeting or WebEx or what have you, and they want to give Teams a try because they're hearing good things about it. And, they're adding improvements all the time. So it's a nice, secure environment that works great for business. So, yeah, those are some of the sessions I'm going to sit in on. And of course, we have Fawad Khan and as well as Jamie Foxx doing our keynotes, one keynote each day at lunchtime directly from Microsoft so we can hear from the developer themselves about what they're doing with all these integrated technologies and what the future holds for business. All of these businesses, large and small, have had coronavirus change them a great deal, right? Digital transformation forced on all kinds of businesses better than any CIO could have possibly imagined. So I feel like Microsoft is well positioned to handle this transition. Virtual events have made their way onto our landscape. That doesn't mean we don't all need a gathering, because we certainly do. But virtual events will have their place, and I know a lot of companies and event companies are looking at hybrid events for those that are willing to travel and get together in person, but then there are going to be some that want a hybrid and still want to stay home because they haven't become immunized, or they're just more comfortable staying at home, at least for now. So we're well positioned to take advantage of that and try and help people learn from home around all these Microsoft technologies that are integrated into their businesses and their day-to-day lives each and every day.
That's great that you have Microsoft involved in the event as well. So, Bob, a lot of us know that you are the king of advanced networking. Have you figured out a way to get some advanced networking into this event, or how are you keeping yourself connected with everybody during these times?
It's challenging. It's very challenging. I like my advanced networking opportunities, and so do you, Anya. Let's admit it now. I've said to people in past GPUG appearances that at the end of a busy conference day, do not run back to your hotel room and try to play catch up on your email. Go out with your partner, go out with your colleagues, and advance your networking opportunities. This is where you meet people in your industry or who do your job, or you spend time with your partner when you don't get to always spend time with them away from a billable project. So don't tell your spouse or your boss that you're partying at a given event. Tell them you're advancing your networking opportunities, because A, that's true, and B, it sounds a lot more professional. The way to build up your LinkedIn profile and your network as a whole is to really leverage those networking opportunities and get out and meet people, right? Especially if you've been in sessions all day long, be they in person or virtual, you got to get out and network with others. So there are no formal advanced networking opportunities with MS this year. But I do like those opportunities, and maybe we will include those the next time around when we do one of these later in the fall. Which, by the way, we haven't picked a date yet, but that's where we're gunning for. But I am trying to keep up with friends through other events where advanced networking opportunities have been made available, and it makes me want to get together more so with them in person. Hopefully, in the second half of this year. I did one recently, and I did one with Kim Peterson's retirement. Kim wanted to get everybody on the phone, per se, and we all got a cocktail from downstairs in the fridge and sat around and talked about the space that we've been in a long time. And she cried a lot, but I know it was good for her because I know Mama Kim had plenty of years in the space and really loved those networking opportunities. So, yes, in the future, we will plan one of those. This is our first one. We are getting our feet wet as far as trying to get and harness all these different activities and topics underneath one roof. But we hope that over 2 days, people will jump in and talk to and take in sessions where their interest lies, and also with third-party vendors, of whom we have several who have sponsored up for this event and have a lot of really cool applications to show off. When I put the sponsoring together, I wanted as many levels as possible to present, because if I'm an ISV sponsor, and I am now, I want time to show off the great work and the wares that we've written and how well integrated these solutions are and how they help business fill gaps really quickly. Why reinvent the wheel when you can buy a third party from a trusted ISV and make things happen quickly and easily for all your users all over the world. So I wanted not just the top spot to have an opportunity to show off what they have to say, but other sponsors as well. So our diamond sponsor, Ingram Micro, will speak twice, once on each day. Our gold sponsors will speak in the morning and immediately following the keynote in the second day. And our silver sponsors will speak every afternoon, and they'll have good placement during each day so that their good work and diligence around the Microsoft stack will be shown off for the world to see. So that to me is important. Sponsors need a chance to show off what they're good at. Third parties fill those gaps that the core products can't always fill. So I want people to get smarter on different Microsoft applications, and I want people to find those applications that will really help their business find success, filling the gaps that are driving them crazy.
Wonderful. So you mentioned earlier that you're already planning another event for the fall. So that must mean that this has been a good experience for you to plan this. Um, is that the goal, to keep this WWMSTUG as a virtual event, or will you have yeah, hybrid events or user groups? What is your vision?
The vision now, at least initially, the vision was just to kickstart it with a virtual event, and I'm thinking another one will be necessary as we figure out how the pandemic plays out. Some companies are ready to open up H2. Some will tell their employees you can't go anywhere this year. So another virtual event makes sense. And Microsoft has made inquiries with us about doing this again. And that's encouraging. If you can get the developer company to sign on and say, hey, this looks good, would you consider doing again? Then that's very encouraging. And quite honestly, the team that's here, which isn't real big, quite frankly, has learned a lot in putting this together. So that part is exciting. That's the part where you learn a lot, working with different people that you're not always accustomed to working with, and making sure everybody's coordinated. We meet 2 days a week to make sure everybody's got their bases covered, I's dotted, T's crossed, etc. So we haven't decided on when the next virtual event will be, but we'll get one in there before the end of the year. And in the future, boy, I'd love to do hybrid where we are on site and virtual, because I really like that concept. That gives people choices. I want to show up or I want to stay home, but I still want to learn. And will we go beyond into user groups and doing webinars and things? We have thought about that and discussed those things internally. We haven't made any final decisions yet, but with a user group, there are a lot of possibilities and a lot of opinions, a lot of users giving us their 2 cents worth. So it's exciting to be a part of that again and have a foot in the first event. And I kind of feel like the old days when we were getting things started. We had a lot of ideas and a lot of people willing to try stuff. And if we build a community around Microsoft technologies, which I'm very accustomed to doing, we'll have excellent input from really good resources who care about advancing these topics and this ecosystem so it is best for everyone involved. And that's really the best part about a UG. You're getting everybody's input and everybody has some skin in the game and you build what the community is looking for.
Yes. So just to reiterate, who do you see as attending, already registering for this event? Is it mainly users or also prospects, prospective buyers, partners? What do you think is the audience here?
I think it's all of those things. Certainly end users who are utilizing product today, be it from Microsoft or a third-party sponsor. They'll be there for sure. People who are in the partner channel. Partners are an important part of a user group. They're not in the name, they're not a user per se, but partners have always been an important part of a user group. And having been a partner myself a long time, it's important that partners participate and help plan and execute and show off their subject matter expertise. Prospects, sure. If you're going to dip your toe into the Microsoft Office or Dynamics water soon and you're not really sure, this is a low risk opportunity. Our registration is only $99 for both days, and you can take in a lot of content during those 2 days for a very low price. And if you miss anything, because it's 9 hours plus on both days, then we're recording everything. LLTV is really, really good with video assets and understands the importance of them. So that's why we partnered with them. And if you miss anything, it'll be recorded, just like our interview today, so people can go back and catch it a second time and just make sure that all the information they seek out of these 2 days, whether it's during the times we broadcast or on the weekends or whenever, will be readily available to everyone who's an attendee. So we look forward to having everybody at the very first Worldwide Microsoft Technology User Group event. I'm excited about it. We've got some good stuff planned, and I hope everybody will take it as a great learning opportunity and a wonderful ecosystem with good friends, smart people, and folks who want to make sure they advance their networking opportunities and advance their knowledge on all things integrated with Microsoft.
Excellent. Well, Bob, it's always a pleasure talking to you. And I have one last question for you.
Sure.
And that, if you were new to this channel, who would you recommend that someone have a drink with? And you can't say you and I.
Oh man, that sounds like a question I've heard before.
Couldn't resist.
In this ecosystem, I would say that would have to be Jeff Goldstein. This was really Jeff's idea, or he put it on paper first and said, I want to do an event, a virtual one where people go beyond Dynamics and Power Platform and start talking about all the other things that are fully integrated here, because all kinds of people are using all kinds of Microsoft technologies and on every continent, not just here in North America. So, and I've been witness to that myself the past couple of years. So I would say Jeff, because he's thinking bigger than just Dynamics and Power Platform. Sure, those are ground floor components for any small to mid-sized business or even pushing enterprise. But there are so many other things to consider as well. HR, project operations, teams, all those things and more. So Azure AI, I don't want to forget those things. Those things are all coming into mainstream daily usage for all kinds of companies. You don't have to be IBM to leverage Azure, right? You can be a small company and leverage it and get something out of it and help your business grow. So I'd say Jeff for that advanced networking opportunity to have a drink with, because this was his idea and he needed some help and he asked for it. And now here we are getting closer to April 14th, and it's exciting. So cheers to Jeff. I'll have a drink with him for sure.
Wonderful. I would be happy to join you for that drink in a fancy bar in New York City. Sounds good.
That does sound good. So thanks again for the opportunity to chat with you, Anya. It's always good. And thank you to the ERP Software Blog, one of the first places I go for the space, for your media sponsorship, because I greatly appreciate it, both for this event and personally. So thank you.